Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be going over basically how I did the red stripes on our McLaren MP4 here because someone asked in the comments. I'm not the greatest with texturing, at least when it comes to using Photoshop, but let's get into how I did this. So first of all, we're going to hide all our decals, so we're just left with a white car. Give it a quick moment here. There we go. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to come over here to our, we're going to want to come into our shading, texture paint. There it is. Let's see, I will do something with that image in a minute. Change this up in the top left. We're going to change this to not texture node, UV editor. That's what we want. So now we can see our UV layout. And what I'm going to do is I'm just gonna shrink everything down. We'll start by selecting our car, scaling everything down until a little dot, and just drag it into the corner here. Okay. And then as far as the don't want to be in the texture mode here. Okay. So we come over to textures. We want a new texture. Okay, and we want this one to be a image texture. So click on that. Press 3, we can see where our stripes are. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off by selecting all the faces that have the stripes. So I'm going to hide the subdivision in edit mode. So we're just going to select all our faces that are going to be red in this case. So let's see, we'll select this. And I'm just pressing C to highlight everything here. I'm not trying to be super specific because I'm going to clean this up in a minute. And actually, one thing that I had before, which I'm going to fix real quick, is I had the mirror modifier on, so I only had to do this once, which is a smart way to go about it. So I'm just going to delete half of this. Through this. Alright, there we go, got half of it. We can delete those vertices, hide the ground, and I'm going to click backslash on the numpad to just isolate this real quick. And we'll mirror that. Okay, now that we have this, actually I'm going to backslash again because I need to select the background images as well. Okay, now we got our background images. I'm going to drag this over so we can see what we're doing. A little bit. Okay, here we go. So we are going to select all the faces that have the red here, and thankfully it's just a straight, pretty much a straight line, which will make things a little bit easier. Select all of that. Actually clips into that as well. Okay, now I'm going to deselect everything on the back here and everything here on the inside because we don't need it. Okay, so now that I have this, I'm going to press U and I'm going to click unwrap. Okay, so this is what everything we selected looks like. Let me expand that a little bit. So this is what we got. This is the back, so this right here is the center of the car, right here, and we can see it comes down here. So I'm going to rotate this by 90 degrees, and I'm going to put it in this top right corner here. Okay, so that's one area that we need a red stripe. The other area is this front section here, so we're going to take care of that next. So on the card, this is actually like a board that's on the outside here. So I found some images. This little piece right here, which this naturally needs to be extended out a little bit, but this is black. So all we need really here is to select everything under here. Everything here, we kind of have to guess behind the wheel here. So if we look at the angle here, it probably comes down to somewhere around here. I'll select these. Highlight all these. We don't want any of the faces on the inside, like on this hole here, on the inside here, because, well, we don't want it to be red. So up here, select this, select these as well, and then all this in between here. I can actually get rid of this. Okay. Now that we have all the faces that contain the red that we want to add, we're going to do the same thing. Press U, unwrap. We're going to scale this down a little bit. And then to figure out where things are, what we can do is we can just select a face. Let's say I want to figure out where this face is right here. Okay, so the center and the back is right here. So I want to rotate this by 90 degrees again. And then this time I'm putting it in the top left. Okay. So now if we double press A, we can see our two things are overlapping here. We don't want any overlap between these two. Everything else is white, so that's why it's all scaled down this corner, which is going to be white, so we don't actually have to worry about that. We'll select a vertice on this one. I'm going to press Control L. That'll select everything attached to it, and I'm just going to press G, drag it over a little bit. And then I'm actually going to take this one and drag it down here, just so I have more room to work with. Okay, now that we have that, what we can do is go UV right here, and then we can come down to Export UV Layout. Sorry. I'm just going to put this UV tutorial. Just name it something that you're going to be able to come back and find. So we'll create that. Then I will show you guys what that looks like. Let's come up to our McLaren file here. Alright, here it is. So I'm going to open up this in Photoshop, which I'm going to drag over here so you guys can see. Let's go up to McLaren. Open that up. Okay. So now that we got this, actually it looks like I'm missing a face. Let me go check something real quick. That face seems to be missing. So if we go try to figure out what face this is it? Okay. I'll show you guys how to fix that in a minute when we get to that anyways. So let's pull up our Photoshop here. This is going to be kind of hard to do on one screen. So I'm going to basically show you guys how I'm doing it, I'll show you guys the Photoshop side of it. But okay. So here in our UV editor, I'm gonna open an image, and I'm gonna open that UV tutorial image, so I can see the overlay of where all our faces are without having them selected. So where our line needs to go from is from this face, right? The one edge is in this face. We're just going to find the edges so we can make a line between the two on our layout here in Photoshop. So I want it to come down to here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the faces like that wrap under. Let's select that. Okay, it looks like I forgot to unwrap the stuff on the bottom, so I'm gonna have to redo this real quick. Use this as an opportunity to show you guys what I did again, I guess. Select all our faces that contain the red that we're trying to add. And don't worry about the messy geometry, because subdivision helps with that quite a bit. And grab that. And we'll come here, clean it up a little bit. Okay, that looks good. We don't have anything on the inside here. Alright, so we're going to press U, we're going to unwrap it again, scale it down, and then we got to figure out where everything is located now that it looks fairly different. I forgot these again. As I said, I don't do this very often, so not the best at it. Okay, those seem to be separated for one reason or another, but we won't worry about that right now. Okay. I'm gonna rotate this 180. Drag this over here. Drag this guy up here. Like this. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do the export UV thing again. So export. Okay, so we got that. Sorry, I made another slight mistake. Let's wrap this again. Alright, now we're going to open the UV image, the new one. So it should be updated. Yep, looks updated to me. We'll pull up our Photoshop. I'm going to open it again. Okay. So now here's the part where we identify where the stripes are. So I wanted to go from this face here. These faces pretty much is where the edge is going to be up to here. Yep, so we're going to have a line going from there to there. And then I need a line going from this face, not that one, sorry, that one, from that face to these faces, these ones. Okay, so we can see the highlighted ones here. So what I need to do in Photoshop is make a line that goes from basically the back. If we press 7 here, it's in the middle here, so we need to go from the center of this face right here down to pretty much the corner of this one, so down to here. So I need a line that goes from there to there. And then on the flip side of this, I need a line that goes from probably right about here that comes up to that corner right there, and it should just cross over these right here. So we'll go into Photoshop and take care of that. And 2 screens are useful because I can just look at it on one screen and do it here, but I'll show you guys how I did that in Photoshop. Zoom in a little bit. Alright, so we're gonna start by adding a new layer, and I'm actually gonna put it under that layer on the right there. I'm gonna add a rectangle. Just make it pretty long and skinny. It's not important what color it is at the moment. Again, I need it to go from essentially, oh, there we go. So I need to go from, I can drag this here to the top corner, so it's going to rotate on that corner up there. Pretty much the center of that. To the front of that. Alright, so now I'm going to copy this and paste it so I have 2. And I'm going to do the same with the other face, so I need to go from this one right about there in the corner. So drag this right here into the corner. Rotate it to pretty much right about there. Okay, now what we're going to do is pick our color that we want for it. So you're going to want to be more specific than this, but I'm just going to eyeball it for the purposes of this video. That looks pretty. Let's make it that color. Alright, so we're going to click our pen tool. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click right back here on the edge. I want it on the outside of these lines here so I can get a perfect straight line. It seems that got moved a little bit, but that's okay, I'll just eyeball it. There we go. And then I want it to go clear on the outside here. Come down to this, or actually it needs to be on the outside, sorry. So I want to make a line that goes on the outside of this rectangle, so come down here. And there. Stroke, make sure that's 0 because we don't want a black line out of that, and I'm going to click the red color. And then these rectangles, I'm just going to delete. Okay, there's the red for that. Now we're going to do the same for the back half of the car. So to go over this again, we'll bring Blender back into the picture here. For the back, we need to go from this face. Where is it? It looks like I didn't add that one, so we'll just do it this way. We'll go from this face in this very corner, even though it's not completely accurate, and up to this one. So I'm going to highlight those. And then I want to go back to these. So there is actually an angle difference here. So the angle changes right at this face. So that's why I selected these. So it's going to go, if we click here, it's going to go from here to back here, and then it's going to come straight back here, if that makes sense. So we'll move this back over. Here we're going to add a rectangle. Do Control T, move this around a little bit. Angle I'm looking for is, oh, did not mean to do that. Is from pretty much that. And then I'm going to duplicate it. And I want it to go from here up to here. Okay. So now we're going to do the same thing with our pen tool. Grab that nifty little thing. We're going to select right here up to this corner here. And then up to here. And then just complete the polygon. Delete our two rectangles. There you go, you have your red stripe. So what we're going to do is I'm going to export this as a PNG. And I'll just make it stripe. Alright, now that we have that, we can exit out of this. Don't need to save it for my purposes. Come back over here, and I'm going to load up that. Oh, I forgot to hide something. Give me a second. Alright, because I didn't save it, I put myself in a little situation here. So what you want to do is you want to hide the outline of our faces before you save it as an image, but I'm going to roll with the punches here. Alright, and the other thing you want to add is you want to make everything else the white color that you want. For this, it's just going to be black because there is no color. So let's go here. Oh. Open our texture image now. And look at that. There are our two stripes. The reason it's light gray here is because it's rendering this. But anyways, let's pretend like you didn't make the mistake I made. And let's say you now want a texture that resembles a car. Let me pull up a picture of what I did on my car that I was working on there. Okay, here we go. We can go into shading here. And I'm gonna go here. Wait for it to load. Alright, so we don't want this flat color, so we're going to come down here to our nodes. We're going to set our metallic at 0.195. This we can leave the same. That's 0. Roughness, we want that at 0.073. Just like that. Sheen, we want the, I think that's how you say it. I hope so. 2.18. The tint on that, 0.2255. Sorry, excuse me. Clear coat, we want that at 1. The roughness of that, we want it at 0. The IOR, we want that set at 0.85. And then we end up with this nice glossy finish. If we go into our cycles render, you can see it looks very, very shiny. This car actually doesn't look bad in black and red. But anyways, that's how I went about the stripes. As far as all the decals, I use this add-on called Decal Machine. It's great. It's a little bit pricey, but for the sort of stuff that I do, it works wonders. So yeah, that's how you do it. Hopefully you learned something. Probably not the most efficient way to go about this. I'm really not sure because I kind of figured it out on my own for the most part. But yeah, hope I helped you guys out, and see you guys in the next video.